Hello everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube video. This one is pretty different from my usual videos. First of all, I have no script. I do not have my iPad right next to me, where I have my script on it. I'm just going to go with the flow for this one, and also something else that makes it different. Makes it different from my usual videos is that we will be talking not about a show, but a YouTube channel, specifically SolarBalls. And if you've never seen it, what are you doing with your life? Just kidding. If you've never seen it, it's very easy to look at it. If you're seeing this video, you're probably on YouTube. So just go to the search bar and look up SolarBalls and you'll find it immediately. But anyways, we'll be talking about the SolarBalls lore for a moment. And most people, when watching SolarBalls, might be wondering, how are these planets alive? But what I want to know is, when did they come to life? And though that might seem like a very easy question on paper, it actually has a much more complicated answer. To show you why, let's look at the episode Meet Neptune, where Pluto says that he and Neptune had met over 4 billion years ago. And though that might prove my point, your guys' point, I was right. I am going to mess up my sentences during this. But yeah, even though that might seem like, they just come to life when they form, let's look at the episode Will Mercury Explode? Because in that episode, Mercury is going through tectonic activity, which Earth knows. But that doesn't make any sense. If these planets have been around for billions and billions of years, and both Earth and Mercury have been going through tectonic activity, then why is Mercury only now being affected by it? Meanwhile, Earth has been affected by it forever, basically. So obviously, they did not just come to life when they formed, and there's presumably no pattern to when they come to life. But today, we will be trying to figure out when they came to life, and, Why am I so awkward? And the first person who came to life is a no-brainer. It was the sun. There's no evidence, but was it even a question? Next up is Jupiter. Though we don't have a lot of information on him other than he's very smart, the fact that he is very smart and was probably one of, if not the first planet to form, that probably suggests that he's been around for a very long time. The next ones who came to life are Neptune and Pluto, because like I said earlier, they met over 4 billion years ago. And then there's Ceres. Yes, him. I suggest that maybe he came to life around this time period, because we all know that after a very, very long time of not interacting with people, which Ceres has not done, they go insane. And after literally billions of years of not being social, that's not going to help Ceres at all. Plus, I know how you extroverts get when you don't get social in a very long time, not even like a few hours. But I think that there's more to Ceres' story than just that he stayed in the asteroid belt. In the episode where we meet Ceres, what was it called again? There's something hiding in the asteroid belt. Jupiter says that Ceres has been hiding in the asteroid belt since the early days of the solar system. But what could he be hiding from? Well, is that even a question again? The sun. The sun is obsessed with people staying in their orbit, and that would apply to the dwarf planets too. After all, Pluto was a planet for a very long time. There might as well be no exceptions. But yeah, I suggest that when Ceres came to life, the sun threatened his life if he ever got out of the asteroid belt, and thus he stayed in it with literally no one to talk with. And the fact that Jupiter is literally right next door explains why he knows about Ceres, other than the fact that he's just very smart. So yes, Sun, your reputation isn't looking good so far in this video, and let me tell you, I'm going to make it worse. You might think that Saturn might be the next one to come to life, but I disagree, because I would think around this time that some of the moons would still be crashing into his surface, which we know from the episode Why Does Saturn Have Rings? He did not know about. Instead, I propose that the next one to come to life was Mars. Even though I have no evidence to support it, I do have a hypothesis. The reason I think that Mars came to life next is because he might be old enough to know about Thea. After all, in the episode, what was it called again? Why do I keep forgetting these? What happens when planets collide? He knew that the Earth collided with Thea in order to make the moon. So I think that Mars has been alive at least long enough to know Thea, and even be their best friend before Earth came to life. Speaking of Earth, like I just said, eventually the two collide. It's also around this time I suspect that Saturn would come to life, and along with that, his moons. But other than that, Thea crashes into a soulless Earth and dies, which obviously makes Mars super sad. But like Venus said in the episode, What If Planets Collide? When they do collide, it's like a phoenix. Shut up! Sorry. Yeah, but it's like a phoenix. When they die, new life will emerge from their ashes. And I believe that when Thea crashed into Earth, this is the event that brought him and the moon to life. And this is probably the reason why Mars is best friends with Earth, despite all of his flaws. Because when Mars looks at Earth, he sees his old friend Thea, at least what's left of them. In fact, they even play one of the games that Mars and Thea loved to play when they were still alive, Asteroid Dodgeball. Then Venus joins the game and completely ruins everything, no big shocker. But like Ceres, I think Venus's story goes much farther than just he's a bully. Because remember, if I am correct about this, Mercury isn't alive yet, making Venus the closest planet to the Sun. And we all know what happens to Mercury when interacting with the Sun. He's basically being tortured. And Venus has had to go through that probably much, much longer than Mercury has. And I'm no therapist, but being around someone like this probably isn't going to lead to a good personality to say, explaining Venus's actions and why he's so mean to everyone. But then the day comes that Mercury comes to life. This is the ticket that Venus has been waiting for. He introduces Mercury to the sun and then brutally breaks up the friendship he had with him. Even though this might seem unlikely, because, I mean, who would want to mess with the sun? This is the character everyone is afraid of. In the episode, My Best Friend the Sun, when Sun gets the thought that Mercury might not see the sun as a friend, he speaks in a sad tone, as if he's been heartbroken like this in the past. And gee, I wonder which planet is most likely to hurt someone's feelings. But yeah, after that happened, Venus could finally talk to Earth and Mars. And in fact, he continues to bully Mercury in order to make sure that he doesn't have to go through that pain again that he spent with the sun, weaken him. In fact, in the episode, Can Planets Share an Orbit? Venus is absolutely terrified when the sun plans to aim his solar flares at Venus from now on, because in his eyes, this feels like the torture is starting all over again. In fact, earlier in that episode, he doesn't want Mercury sharing his orbit because, again, he's a bully, but it might also be because if he joins his orbit, then Venus would again be the closest planet to the sun. And that, my friends, is my theory on how the lore of SolarBalls went before Astrodude came. And that's basically when all of the planets came to life. Not now, Uranus.